Hey everyone, it's Jackie from Vegan Yack Attack, and I'm back with a brand new recipe video for you today. And today's video is for sourdough cheddar biscuits, all vegan of course. And how good does that sound? These are some of my favorite things to eat when it's nice and cold. And as you can tell by my sweater, it's finally cold in Las Vegas. Today it was 48 this morning. It was 80 yesterday, so just to give you a little perspective. But anyways, I've revived my sourdough starter, who now has a name. His name is Wallace. And because I'm reviving him, I have some sourdough discard. And because of the cooler weather, I feel like I've seen more people baking bread again, kind of like in the spring. So I thought that this would be a valuable recipe to show y'all to get rid of some sourdough discard quickly and deliciously. As for ingredients, there aren't many. We have some unbleached all-purpose flour, some whole wheat flour, or the recipe calls for whole wheat pastry flour that's just a little finer ground than your traditional whole wheat. So it may be a little bit more coarse. We'll see what happens. It should be fine. We have some baking powder, salt, our sourdough discard, like I said, some non-dairy milk, vegan cheddar shreds. You can also use maybe a couple tablespoons of nutritional yeast if you want to use that instead for a nice savory taste, but definitely not the same amount. It will completely dry out your biscuits. And then here I have some vegetable shortening. You can also use vegan butter or like hardened coconut oil, refined if you don't want a coconutty taste. Either way, all three of those should work fine. And a little apple cider vinegar to give us a bit of a buttermilk biscuit vibe to go with our sourdough discard. First things first, I have the oven set to 450 degrees right now. You want it really hot, so go ahead and preheat your oven if you're making these. And then a baking pan or dish, whatever, lined with parchment paper and a biscuit cutter, or just basically anything, even like a cup that's roughly 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter to just cut out your biscuits. That's what we'll need. Now, let's dump everything in a bowl and get started here. Can move some of this out of the way. First, we have our dry ingredients, so our flours, our baking powder, and our salt. We're just whisking that together until combined. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is cut in our vegan shortening, our plant-based shortening. This way we get some nice chunks of like fat in there like you would with butter or whatever. And as you know, I like to use a whisk to do this. It's kind of like less dishes shortcut. So I'm just going to, I'm gonna get flour all over this sweater, aren't I? I'm just gonna cut this vegetable shortening into the mixture until we got like pebble-sized chunks in here. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. I think that looks good. Now we can add in our wet ingredients. So we have our sourdough discard. Now, depending on how old your discard is, like mine was sitting in the fridge since April, I think, it gets really thick. So definitely try to do this by weight instead of by measurement, like cup measurement, because a really thick one will have more flour in it basically. It'll be more dense and you may have a drier biscuit. So this is a little bit of a fresher discard, I think from like yesterday. And of course I did store it in the fridge overnight. But either way, you see that it's pretty thin and runny, so we'll have a more hydrated biscuit. And then we have our unsweetened non-dairy milk and our apple cider vinegar. We're not adding in the cheese shreds just yet. Oop, shit. Okay, and we're going to give this a stir just to combine it. 2.5, 3 inches biscuits, that's what we'll need. Now, let's dump everything in a bowl and get started. Now that it's mostly combined, we'll go ahead and add in these cheddar shreds just so we're not over mixing the biscuits. And then I'll probably knead it by hand a little bit instead of using a spatula. A little cheddar shreds. Knead that together a little bit. Okay, we have our biscuit dough. Now, we're going to get this out of the way and flour our surface, which is why I left this here. We're gonna flour it liberally and just press the biscuit dough out to like about 1 inch tall. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, there it is. There's the flour. Okay, now we take a little baking sheet here. I have a little circular one. I have an OG biscuit cutter, but like I said, anything that's about 2.5 to 3 inches wide and circular will be great. You can even do square biscuits. I've done that. They taste great still, so the shape doesn't really matter a whole lot. But yeah, have a biscuit cutter. Ooh. Brush off some of that flour. You can see there's gonna be some nice layers in this. Oh, I'm so excited. I love biscuits. It was like a special breakfast growing up for my family. We'd have biscuits and gravy. So actually, that being said, this recipe is with some vegan chicken like wings for chicken and biscuits. So that's what I'll be linking to in the description. But I also have a biscuits and gravy recipe, and so I'll link to that as well. So you can try the mushroom gravy. It's so good. Like I said, I love biscuits and gravy, so I think that you'll really enjoy it. So now we're going to kind of like push this together. I'm actually gonna really smush this. And get one more out of here. Like 1.5 more. We'll have like a really weird biscuit, and it's fine. Those are like the testers basically, right? Your quality assurance biscuit for when they're out of the oven. All right. There we go. And now we can just like compost or get rid of that. I definitely don't eat this dough raw because sourdough discard raw is weird and should not be eaten. Okay, just note that. So before I put them in the oven, I like to give them a little spritz of oil on top. You could like brush it with butter or whatever you want. Woo, 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 woo. And now we'll bake these for about 15 to 17 minutes, basically until they're nice and golden on top. Okay, it's been about 16 minutes. I think that they look good, so let's pull them out of the oven. Ooh, toasty biscuits. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, before I try them, I'm gonna let them cool down just a few minutes, and then I'm gonna put just a little butter, keep it simple, and let you know how they are. All right, I think it's time to crack one of these bad boys open. All right, okay, maybe we go for this middle one. Look at, perfect split. I mean, come on, that's victorious. I'll just take a little bit of butter. on here. I'll leave that right over there. It's so good. It's been a while since I've made these biscuits. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I'm having a moment here. But yeah, that sourdough discard with like the cheddar shreds in there, and it's like the nice saltiness and butteriness. So, so good. I can't wait to eat these. Also, you can use these biscuits for little slider breakfast sandwiches. I actually did that. I think that was last time I had these biscuits. Did that a few months ago. So I'll link that in the description as well in case you want to see those. Like a little tofu egg with some like vegan sausage patty on it. Really, really good. So, in short, if you enjoyed, so good. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any more in the future, and I'll see you next time.